welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. Today I want to take a minute to talk with you guys about a gig that I just did in Nashville with an artist who I play with on a regular basis named Rita Wilson. And we had the distinct pleasure of doing this gig with the Nashville Symphony Orchestra, along with a couple of special guests, the legendary Jackson Browne and a great artist from South America named Sebastian Yantra. I also want to profile for you guys our MVP of the gig, who was the guest conductor. He is a world-renowned pops conductor named Waldin. He did a fantastic job gelling the live band with the orchestra, which is something that he does on a regular basis. Stay tuned towards the end of the video where we will actually talk to Lucas about the kinds of things that you might be interested in hearing, which is what is it like for him to work with different bands and different orchestras all the time? And most importantly, I think for us, what is the role and how do the drummer and the conductor interact in these scenarios, which turns out to be pretty much the most important relationship that's happening on stage. So let's get into it. A few weeks in advance of the gig, we were sent preparation materials, which included a Spotify playlist with all the studio versions of the songs, some of which I've played before, a book of charts in PDF format, and finally we were sent 2-track bounces of MIDI mock-ups of the orchestral arrangements, which proved to be really, really helpful for getting ready for the rehearsals. Normally for a gig like this, I would make my own charts and I would simplify everything and just have a form on the page. In this case, the charts we were sent were actually drum parts written out with rehearsal letters and numbers and dynamics and figures. You'll see in a second how I marked them up to make it a little easier for myself to see what was going on and simplify it so that I knew where I was at all times. I thought it would be helpful for us to go through a chart and follow along with Pro Tools so you guys can check out a little bit of what I was looking at. So this is a tune called Throw Me a Party. This is one of Rita's originals. I'm going to bring us into the Pro Tools session 4 bars before the drums come in. You can see that verse 1, letter A, is an 8-bar rest. So I'm going to be bringing us in 4 bars into that. So here we go. I'm going to start with the click on until we get to where the drums come in. So here we go. 3 bars away, 2 bars away, 1 bar, and here come the drums. Verse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th bar will be a hold. 1, 2, 3, and chorus. bar of the chorus. Seventh bar, eighth bar. And now we're into double half of the chorus, second half, bigger. Two-bar hold. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2. Here comes a fill. Re-intro. And back to the verse. Letter C. You can see that I more or less stuck to what was written for the drum part, which was based on what's on the original record. And this is a song I've played before we added the orchestra, so that helped me and gave me a little bit of an advantage. Once all the personal prep work was done, the next stage in the realization of this project was for all of us to get together as a band with Rita and start to go through all the arrangements. For that, we were luckily given access to a studio in the area here where we were able to throw those same MIDI mock-ups onto a Pro Tools session and play along with them, and we kind of treated it like a real session, which was super cool. And then we would go back in and listen and sort of make notes and figure out what it is that we wanted to do to sort of refine these things. Because keep in mind, we only have the one preparation rehearsal with the orchestra in Nashville, so we knew that we were going to need to be ready and really know our stuff. The band for this gig was comprised of some of my friends, which was a really cool experience. The musical director and guitar player is Andrew Doolittle. Our pianist's name was Justin Avery, and the bass player's name is Lance Morrison. And we also had Sean Hurley with us for a little bit of the rehearsal and also a prep gig, which we're going to get to in a second. Once we had gotten a few days into rehearsal, Rita decided it would be a really cool idea for us to do some sort of prep gig. A gig was booked at the Hotel Cafe in the heart of Hollywood, which is a place that all of us have played probably hundreds of times through the years with different singer-songwriters. It's one of those special rooms that everybody in the community comes to see each other play. It's a small but really great sounding spot, and it was kind of the perfect place for us to just try everything out and see how things sounded. Once all the LA rehearsals and the Hotel Cafe gig were done, it was time to head to Nashville. We have arrived in Nashville, just checked into the hotel, and looks like we're staying right across the street from the venue, which is this, hopefully I'm saying this right, Schemerhorn Hall, where the Nashville Symphony plays. We were booked for a day in advance so we could do a rehearsal day at Soundcheck Studios in Nashville, along with the band and Sebastian and Jackson. And we also even had Lucas at the rehearsal, which was great for all of us to meet him and to connect and discuss the way these arrangements were going to work. Rehearsal time. Rehearsal time with these fellas.
This just stretches out longer than you might expect.
Okay. No problem. Yeah, I'm always ready at the end, whatever. Yeah.
And finally, we were ready for show day. This is the beautiful hall. This is Schermerhorn Hall in Nashville. Absolutely beautiful venue. The orchestra is sort of compacted in behind us here. Band is set up sort of half on one side of the conductor's podium, which is right here. So it gives us all sight lines of the conductor. Our MD Andrew will be over here, so I'll be able to look at him pretty easily and communicate with him, and also the conductor on my other side, which is kind of perfect. And then I'm gonna have Rita right here. So basically everything and anybody I would need to be in touch with during the show is right there. Turns out I got a really great backline kit from SIR in Nashville. Little rig rundown. This nice DW kit here. 16 by 16, 12 by 8. Looks like a 14 by 22. I brought my DW snare, which is actually a Craviotto, which is one of my go-tos. Got a set of old new beats that I use for these kinds of things. And the rest of this nice backline set of Sabians, 18-inch medium, 20-inch medium ride, 20-inch stage crash. So this is my rig for listening to my click. And so I've got the click going in to this channel here, which is actually coming from the chart rig, coming from the iPad through Fourscore. And then I'm going to be getting 2 stereo channels in here for monitoring everything else. And carry this box with me everywhere. It's been in a couple of other videos of mine, although I don't think I've talked about it too much. And one other thing is using these dem sticks for a couple of things, and I'm using some brushes for a couple of things, and I'm using the Root 606s for a couple of things, sort of my typical gig thing. And then I'm also using the Peter Erskine signature sticks because they have this really nice quiet tip. It's a really nice cymbal sound without being harsh or pingy. We knew that we were going to have to sound check everybody, including making sure that our ears were all dialed in. Yes, we were on ears for this gig to make sure we could hear everybody nicely. And then finally, of course, we knew we were going to need to run through the entire show with the orchestra, which for them was going to be their one and only time running through most of these tunes. And as it turns out, I think we did everything exactly one time, and maybe one song we ran a couple of parts over again. They literally ran it in sound check or dress rehearsal and then at the show, which is just a testament to how high a level that orchestra operates at, that they can just sight read stuff like this, which they do all the time. It turns out our conductor, Lucas, is not only from my hometown of Toronto, Canada, we also went to the same high school together, just a few years apart, and had all the same music teachers. Kind of an amazing origin story, and a crazy coincidence. But it actually made it really easy to connect with him, and in this scenario, the drummer and the conductor have to be super connected. I wanted to get his take on what it's like to be a conductor with pops orchestras and bands, what it is that happens between the drummer and the conductor. I wanted to know, what is it that he looks for? So this is Maestro Lucas Waldin.
What's that?
And the main question I want to ask you, I have two, but one that I think is really important is, if you could have everything that you want from a drummer in a scenario like this, what are you looking for? What are the most important things for you?
So first thing is to be able to lead and follow at the same time. So like the drummer's got to lead the band, they effectively lead the whole orchestra, but ultimately I'm in control. So in a way there's that kind of, it's almost like co-leading, it's leading and following at the same time. But you know, if I get a guy that's, you know, that's really good at leading, but I don't feel like I'm connected, like I don't feel like I have any control, not invested,
Yes.
then that's super uncomfortable for me. And similarly, if I get someone that's a little bit too, ceding a bit too much control, then the band feels really uncomfortable and the orchestra feels really uncomfortable. So it's a fine line of kind of checking in all the time, every couple of phrases. If I'm looking over there for reassurance or to give reassurance, like this constant communication. And then the second thing is, especially when we're doing like covers and stuff, I really love the drummer to have gone back to the source, to like, because a lot of times the charts are written really vaguely or poorly or incorrectly. And so if we're playing a cover of MJ or Whitney or whatever, like I want the drummer to have done the homework and to know the part as it's written, and then to know as it was originally, so that we have the option to go, you know, to do one or the other.
You were talking last night about how you conceive of the beat with
Yeah.
the orchestra.
The orchestra itself is a massive machine. It's like a train, right? It's moving, but a train, all its parts are linked and they're locked, right? So like if you can't move one thing without moving the other. But in an orchestra, you can kind of play with the beats and play with the time without changing the overall tempo. A great analogy is that the orchestra is a magnet, and I'm kind of the opposite polar magnet, right?
Right.
And if you know, so when you ever tried to have two magnets on the table, opposite polarity, like you get close, and then it shoves forwards, right? They like it kind of, so what I do with an orchestra is like, I'm the opposite polarity in a way, and I try to circle them in a way that they move along consistently. But my force, as it was, is not consistent. Meaning sometimes I put in more force, or sometimes I put in less force. But the overall movement is consistent, and that's just the way that orchestras work. They're very like lugubrious and heavy things to move. So you have to know when you're in control of the time and when one bar or one beat needs a little juice, so that the overall effect has the energy or movement that you want it to.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
These are amazing. All in all, this was a really amazing experience for all of us, and I wanted to document it because I don't get to do these kinds of gigs all the time, and I thought it was special enough that I should really make sure that I get it on video. And also, I really wanted to put it out there as a resource. I feel like this is the kind of real world scenario where if there was something that pre-existed me doing this gig, I probably would have checked it out. My intention here is that if you're out there and you're going to do a gig like this, that you have something to check into, maybe get a little bit of an idea of what to expect. Please don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons. Please also find me on Instagram at @TheRealMattStarr. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Jackson Browne.